Hello, everyone. Welcome to Learn Kartra Live. I am Alex, and you'll see Shannon here with me on the screen. We're going to be your two main hosts today, and we also have Amanda, who you will see in the chat feeds. So welcome, everyone. Hope you are all doing well today. Looks like Carolyn is here. Hello, Carolyn from Texas. Nice to see you. I am based here in Philadelphia, so, and Shannon's actually on the West Coast, so we got people all over the States right now. All right. Looks like we have a few people joining in. As everyone joins in, let's just start with a little icebreaker. What are you guys doing this summer? Do you guys have any cool trips planned? I know for me personally, I'm going to be going to Tennessee. It's my first time. So going to be hitting up Nashville and then going to meet my dad. He is a huge fan of amusement parks. So we're going to do Dollywood, which I've never been to before. So super excited for that this year. Hello, Anik.
Yeah, hello.
Looks like talking in French. Nice.
Yeah, awesome.
Hello, Rihanna, if I'm saying that right. Nice to see everyone here. Okay, give it another minute while people are joining. Looks like we have a good amount already in the room.
Yeah, and I was going to tell you, Alex, I got to go to Oregon, so I'm going to be doing opposite coast things this summer with my two littles, 2 and 4-year-old. We're going to do a little road trip. So
nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've never been out to Oregon. I think the only place really Midwest I've been is Utah, but I loved it there.
Oh, we got someone in South Florida, Randolph.
Nice. Alrighty, guys. Well, while people are still joining in, let's do a little housekeeping just to kind of, get everyone settled. So if this is your first time joining us for one of these events, the webinar is being recorded. So you don't have to worry about taking notes or anything. The recording will be sent to you all afterwards. So just check your inbox and you can rewatch it there. We urge you guys to ask questions during the Q&A. Basically how this webinar is going to be structured. I'm going to be doing a short little intro, walking you through the platform, and then we're really going to open it up for your questions. So feel free to put them in the chat, if there's something specific you want, or if there's something I'm describing that you have a question about during the demo, pop it in the chat and we'll get to them all after the live portion. And then we really want you guys to complete our feedback survey if you have the time. It really provides us with great insights on how these events are run, what you guys expect to see in the future, and just, helps us make improvements. So, all right, looks like we have a few people from Florida. New York City, go Knicks. Leda, we're actually pretty close here. Nice. All right, everyone, looks like we have a pretty good amount of people in the room. Let's hop into the actual demonstration here so I don't take up too much of your time, and everyone who joins later can just watch the recording. But today's topic is going to be how Kartra works. It's going to be a general overview and Q&A. So if you are someone that is just getting into Kartra, or if you have a lot of experience with Kartra and you just want to get a little extra clarity, this demonstration or this event is for you here. And before we get started, what are you guys interested in using Kartra for? If you just want to put that in the chat as well. Kartra really is an all-in-one business platform, so it can do a lot of different things. And I'm sure that everyone here is going to have their different goals. So if there's something unique that you're using Kartra for, let us know. It's always a great idea to see what everyone's, working on. But all right, let's hop into the event here with just a simple definition. What is Kartra? Well, if you're here, you probably already have a good idea of what Kartra is. But in simple terms, it is an all-in-one business platform. And it helps you do things like create websites, collect customer information, send emails, sell products, and more. And you can manage all of those things in one place. So typically when you are building out a business, right, you might have a bunch of different applications that you're using that all serve a different purpose, right? You might be using MailChimp to send emails. You might have Wix or WordPress for your website. You might have Calendly for all of your calendar events. what Kartra is really designed to do is be an all-in-one hub for all of those tools. So you don't need to go and purchase a bunch of different subscriptions for these different tools and duct tape them all together. Really, everything is available to you in one platform, and you can, interact with all of those different items and make sure they all are, communicating with each other, right? There's no duct taping that you have to do or no custom setup. And to give you guys a little example, and we're going to be using this example throughout this event here today, let's say that we just have a simple goal of, I am someone that wants to send a newsletter out to, all of my leads. Well, with this simple goal, you can see everything in the blue here, starting with the landing page. This is typically what we would need to start. It's a page on the internet where people are going to learn about our newsletter, right? On that landing page, we need some way for them to sign up to get access to that newsletter. And then once they sign up, we need to capture their contact data. And it's also great if we subscribe them to a specific list in this case, so that we know all these people are signing up for our newsletter. And then, of course, we can have an email tool to send those newsletters out, right? So you can see, to create this simple goal of creating and sending out a newsletter, there's a few different tools that I need to make this possible, right? And what you'll see down below all of those items in the dark kind of blue pill boxes, those are all the tools in Kartra that Kartra provides you with that you can use to make this possible. So for the landing page, right, you could use Pages to actually build the page, or in the custom domains tool to connect your custom domain so that it's branded for your website. For the newsletter sign up, you can use Kartra Forms. For contacts and lists, you have the contact section of your account and lists and automations to automatically put people into those categories. And then you have, of course, the emails tool just to send your emails out, right? So you can see just by looking at this that Kartra really is the power of Kartra is providing you with all of these tools in one place that you can connect to each other to form and achieve, your specific business outcome. In this case, that is just a simple one of sending out a newsletter. So let's dive in here. And before we do that, let me just show you what this would look like from, a leads perspective, right? So let me just turn my screen share on and we will hop in here. All right. So say I am going through the internet and I click on an ad, or maybe I'm on your website and I find, a link to the newsletter, and it brings me to this landing page here, right? Where basically it's just a simple page that advertises the newsletter and gets people to sign up, right? So this is an example of a page that was built in Kartra, and you can see, it just has a few sections based, providing people with information, the value on why they would want to sign up, maybe some screenshots of what the newsletter looks like so that they get an idea of what they're getting. And then, of course, the two areas for people to actually sign up and provide their information. So when we're going in here, of course, you can make sure that you are clicking this to sign up for free, right? If we go in here, we always have the ability to, provide our information to sign up for this newsletter. And this is a Kartra form that is facilitating this. So I'll go in here and write my information, and then just write my email. Great. So now I have my name, my email, signing up for this newsletter here. Let's go ahead and do that. And then once I do that, great, success message. I go to the success page where it says check my inbox for my next steps, and then stay tuned for the monthly newsletter. So if I were to go to my inbox here, we should have a confirmation email. Yep, here we see the Morgan and Maxwell business, right? And here's my confirmation email with my name already in it. And it just gives me information like, hey, thanks for signing up for our newsletter. Newsletters are sent on the first day of each month, and just a little extra, information that you want to provide, right? So as you can see from the lead's perspective, everything is instant and automatic. It's very easy for them to interact with the business and, put their information in. And then it's easy for you as the person, running the business to deliver that content to them. And of course, yeah, you can have all your branding, customize your logos, even the emails can be fully built out like that. So let's dive into the application here and just show you how this was all made. So let's go over here. You can see here is my Kartra dashboard, and I'll close out of that one here. All right. So in the dashboard, if this is your first time getting into the Kartra application, their dashboard really is kind of just a home, a hub where all it's going to give you just general information about how your business is performing. And if you are new to Kartra, it'll look kind of like this, right? This is just our demo account, so there's nothing crazy. But as you start making sales, as you start getting leads, this is just a great place where you can, get quick analytics about how that business is performing. But really, all of those tools that we talked about that Kartra provides you with, you're going to access them in this sidebar. So in the sidebar, and it's broken down into different categories. So for example, if I want to see all of my contacts, I would go to the contacts section of my account, and then I could view it in the all contacts, which is the full email list, or I can go to lists to see the individual broken down lists. Or if I wanted to make a web page, I could go to pages and build out my website, right? So this sidebar is where all of the different tools in Kartra use, and each of them has their own dedicated section. So if you want to build a form, go to the form section. If you want to build a page, make sure you're going to the page section, right? Everything's kind of segmented that way. And as you build these different things out, you're going to see the connection pieces. So let's go through the example that I did here today. And let's say we want to set up where we build out this lead magnet funnel to get people to sign up for our newsletter. The first step in building that out would be maybe to set up our landing page. A lot of people are visual. You really could start with whatever you want to in Kartra, because that's the beauty of it. But let's just start with the page here. So you can see I already have my newsletter sign up page built, but of course, if you wanted to create a new page, one thing Kartra is great with is providing you with tons of templates. So you don't have to be a design expert. You don't have to be, good with, setting up all of your pages and your branding and all of that. Kartra will provide you with a template. All you have to do is replace the colors, replace the images, replace the text, and you've got a page that's good to go. So let's just take a look at the page that we used in this demonstration. If we open up the page builder, it'll take a couple seconds here, but you'll see the whole page loads. And there are two types of builders in Kartra that you are going to see. The first type is like this. It's a full builder. I would say page builder, but you'll see it for things like memberships or emails. But within a builder like this, you always have your tools on the sidebar that you can utilize. And when we're building the page, you can see it's just dragging and dropping the content that we want in. So you'll always start with the template. And of course, you can edit the text and things like that. Or you can just add and drag and drop the content in that easily. So say we wanted to add an image to this page. All we had to do was drop that image where we want it. And then, of course, we can resize it, whatever. In this case, we have a form that we want people to come to this page to sign up for. And there are two ways that we can really put a form onto a page. The first is through this button that I showed you in the demo, and buttons can really link to anything. So in this case, we have our button linking to an opt-in form. And when we go to edit this, you can see the form pops up here as a pop-up on the page. The other way that you can add a form to a page, and you can see it here at the bottom of the page, is we have it embedded. So it's the same exact form, and that's really another powerful thing with Kartra is if you have one form that you're using for multiple things, you can use that form in multiple places, right? You don't have to create the same form again and again. You just create it once, and then you say, okay, I want this form to go here, on this page, on that page, in this email. You can put it wherever you want. And have it displayed, however you want. But you can see here's the forms that we're using to get people to sign up. And as I described earlier, you could go to the form section of your account to build out the form, but you can also see here that when I pop an opt-in form and I go to place this form in here, there's also a link to create a new opt-in form right here, which will open that section of my account where I can start building that form, immediately. So, just saving you a little back and forth as you're building things out. But all right, that is how we have the form connected to the page. And if we return to the dashboard here, we can go to the contact section of the account and see where that form actually lives. So here is our newsletter sign up form under the form section. And if we were to edit this form, Here is the second type of builder that you'll see in Kartra. I like to call this like a step-by-step configuration, where you're really just going through all of these different steps and providing Kartra with the information, right? So are you doing a single or double opt-in? Do you have a success page? Are you setting up any automations, right? You're just going step by step, providing Kartra with the information. And then when you're done, you have a new form built. So in this case, what's important here is the success page, right? So you saw as I completed the form, I was automatically redirected to a page that said, hey, success, thanks for signing up and providing me some next steps. This is how you are facilitating that. Is in the form, you are connecting your success page, and that tells Kartra anyone completing this form goes to this specific page. Also, that confirmation email that I received is this form's welcome message. So it's part of the form here. And, again, in Kartra, you have all of your builders. And if you're in a builder like this, all of your tools are going to be in the side that you can drag and drop. And what's cool about building things like this, and this also applies to pages, is once you have a design that you like say I built this email out and I want to use this, brand structure for all of my future emails, going forward, I can save this as a template. And then anytime I'm creating an email in the future, I can just pull that template and then change the content. So you'll see up here, there's always the replace template. And then I can go in here and choose one of Kartra's available templates, or I can choose one of my templates that I've designed. And again, that's available in the pages section, in emails when you're building them out as well. You also have the option to generate content with AI. So if you don't have any copy ready for your emails and you just need a little bit of help with writing that all out, consult Kartra AI. It's a great tool for you to utilize right in your account. Alrighty, so you can see here we had our landing page. On our landing page, we have that form that's connected to it. And within our form, we are telling the Kartra that people are going to our success page after, and people are getting a welcome email. In the automation step, we can also do some back end actions. So automations are things that are automatically going to happen when somebody interacts with, in this case, this form. And we're not worried about tagging people, but we do want to make sure that they are getting onto our newsletter recipients list so that we know who these people are. So just something to think about, right? When you're setting things up is always, you have the ability to organize them using automations, and then you have any other action that you would want to create with automations based on someone filling out this form. You could, grant them access to something, subscribe them to an email, cancel a subscription, right? There's a bunch of different actions you can choose from. Alrighty, and that is really how you would set this up, right? Of course, the only thing I really didn't show you here was the success page that we set up, but just like building the landing page, you're just building the page and then making sure that it's connected to the form here. Now that was everything that is customer facing, right? Or lead facing. On the back end, when somebody completes or fills out my form and provides me with their contact information, they are always going to be added as a new contact in the all contacts section of my account. So I can see here is the new contact here, June 11, 2026, came in from filling out an opt-in form, and it tells me what specific opt-in form they came in. And I can also see that they're subscribed to a list. So with all of your contacts, Kartra is going to provide you with a full contact profile that will provide you with all of the information relevant to that specific person. So you can see things like, did they receive any emails? Did they open them? Yes. Did they click on any links? No. You can see things like all of their order history or a complete log history of everything that they've done as they've interacted with your business. So there's really a tab for all of the data that you would collect from any contact in your account. And again, all contacts is the complete master list. You can see here that we set up our newsletter recipient lists. And if we go to the list section of our account, that is right there. So under our active members list, you can see newsletter recipients, and I can see that there are 3 people currently in this list. And if I were to click that, here are all the 3 people. So Kartra just gives you all those tools to organize your contacts when they're in your account. That way it's easier to send messages to the right people when you're ready to do that. And how would we send that newsletter out, right? Because now that we have the contacts in the account, they've signed up, how are we getting that newsletter out to them? Well, all we have to do is set up an email. So under marketing, we have emails and SMS. And when I'm creating an email, actually I already have it drafted here, but you could create a new one, choose a template, use one of your previous templates, you name it. But we'll just open this draft that I have here. So you can see I have the newsletter all built out. One other thing that I do want to show you guys really quick is that you can see there's the desktop or mobile view. You know, a lot of people are going to be interacting with your business from their mobile devices, and Kartra has a cool system that automatically reformats your content based on the device somebody is viewing it from. So always a good idea to see how it looks on the mobile view, because that's, you know, how most people will be probably consuming your content, right? But you can see we have our newsletter built out here. It's just, you know, lorem ipsum. But I can go in here and change all the text. And, you know, when I'm ready to send it, I have my from to, and I'm sending this to everyone who is subscribed to my newsletter recipients list. And Kartra is going to tell me who's all included in that, how many emails are going to be blocklisted and why those emails will be blocklisted, and how many are total to send. So we can see that all of the emails are going to be delivered here. And what's cool is you can also stack these filters. So if I wanted to say someone subscribed to my newsletter list and purchased a specific product, right? You can always use these different filters to narrow down who your audience is going to be for a specific email. And then when I'm ready to go, you saw I had this saved as a draft, but I could just schedule it to send on the date that I wanted. So let's say my newsletters go out on the last day of each month. And let me just say it goes out at 1 p.m. So we can say that, hit done. And now our broadcast is scheduled to send on June 30th at 1 o'clock p.m., right? So pretty easy. And then the last really big thing I want to show you with this is that in the future, right, when I'm creating any future newsletters, I can just come here and click this 3-dot button next to my previous one and clone it. And that's going to make an exact copy of the previous one that I had with all the same settings. I can just go in there, adjust the settings, adjust the template that I had. And now I have my next month's newsletter ready to go. I can schedule that out. Took me, a couple minutes, couple seconds, and, don't have to worry about next month's now because that's already scheduled and ready to go. Now I can worry about other things. So cloning in Kartra is the way that you can easily replicate anything that you've created previously. But all right, so that was this example, right? You can see really how we're combining these different tools in the Kartra account to accomplish a specific goal. And of course, there are things in Kartra that we didn't talk about yet. Kartra is a beast, and there is a bunch of different tools that are available to you. Things like webinars, which we're using for this event, or calendars, which we use to meet with people for one-on-ones. You could have sales if you're selling any products, or affiliate programs running on them. You could have one of our most popular features, which is memberships. If you have courses or online actual memberships that you're running, right? All of these tools are available to you to use. There are some that are locked based on the plan that you're on, but just be aware of, when you're signing up, what tools are available to you. And one more thing I will show you is campaigns. Campaigns in Kartra are full built funnels for you. So think about like a full goal. Like, for example, if we wanted to send a newsletter, instead of me having to build out the landing page, the success page, the form, the email, a campaign will provide me with all of those things as templates into my account. And then all I have to do is adjust the colors, text, branding, all of that, you name it, right? So it's like pre-built content for you that you just import into your account, and then you don't have to build it yourself. And there's a bunch of different niche scenarios here that you can look through, like, podcast plus free download, book a call, website funnels, right? So you can look through here to see if maybe there's something that matches your specific goal. And then you get a quick start right into the, application when you're building. The example that I showed you here today, we actually used from our Fast Track series, which is a course that we built to help people along and get started. So we just imported this Fast Track list builder lead magnet, and I just went through and adjusted the branding and, changed the design a little bit to make it look the way I wanted to. So if you guys are interested in setting up a simple lead magnet like this, doesn't have to be for a newsletter sign up. It could be for anything that you're getting people to sign up for free. This is a great place to start that lead magnet list builder. And then last but not least, before we hop into the Q&A, is we're sure that you guys are going to have a bunch of questions as you're going through the application and diving in. So that's where this little help icon in the bottom right corner of your account comes in. You give that a click, you can see all of a directory to find a bunch of resources here at the top. And then you can also reach out to our support team. If you click the email button, it's going to submit a ticket to an actual human. If you click the chat button, it'll start with our Kartra AI that you can consult with first. And then if there is a point where you need to speak with a human, then it'll direct you there. So, great resources here available for you. I love the Kartra AI. It's actually something new that pretty recently that we've implemented. So give that a little try if you, just have general questions as you're building, kind of think about it as your little Clippy, right? It'll be there to kind of answer quick questions and guide you in the right direction. But alrighty, guys. So that was just a very quick overview. Looks like, just about 20 minutes, right on time here. So now we have plenty of time to answer your specific questions, because that's really where I think the uniqueness of Kartra, the power of Kartra comes into play, is seeing all of your unique scenarios and, finding a way to make them possible. So let's go into that here. Just bear with me 1 minute. I'm going to start the presentation back. The slides actually went away. Let me get them back up here. And as we're waiting for them, there are a few frequently asked questions that we had that I wanted to go over. One of the ones that I had mentioned was someone reached out to us about this event. So I'll start with that one. So let me go back into the slides here now that I have them. Bear with me 1 minute. And of course, during this time, be sure to ask your questions in the chat, because we are going to be getting to them here soon. All right. So let's just start with one of these questions here. Actually, someone reached out to us before the event and asked, how do I create a funnel with an email string in Kartra? So let's go into that one first, just to get that question answered. In Kartra, if you're going to set up a funnel with an email string, the tool you're going to use is sequences. So let me go back over to the Kartra account. Oh, and I'll share my full screen so that you can see the entire thing. So if we go back to the account here, you can see under marketing, there's email and SMS, which I showed you for setting up that newsletter welcome email. But under sequences, this is where you can set up a string of emails as you were describing it as. So let's say we have this recover, abandon, checkout. With a sequence, you'll always have the starting rule first. So depending on what your funnel is it people signing up to get something? Is it people purchasing something? What are they doing before they receive that string of emails? That is going to be your starting rule. And it could be any action that somebody completes, like whether they get a tag, fill out a form, purchase something, visit a page, you name it. You have to decide what action people are going to take to get into your sequence. And then from there, they'll receive the emails in the order that you have them set up. So you can see in this example, we're sending an email 1 hour later, then 1 day after that, they'll get another email, and then a third email 2 days after that last one. And then the sequence is complete. So you're basically creating each email that you want to send in your series, creating that line, right? That flow of how people are going to receive them, the timing of that. And then, it's going to run for you automatically in the background. So anyone meeting that starting rule is automatically going to go into your sequence and then start receiving those emails that you have set up. But alrighty, we do have some other frequently asked questions, but let's go over your questions here first. Yeah. So Shannon, if you want to
help you out. Yeah, I got you. We had a question from Crystal. In the subscription section, where is this data pulled from? I cannot find analytics to support these numbers. So I'm not 100% sure. It was something at the beginning of your presentation. So we might need a little more clarity on it.
Yeah. I'm not sure what you mean by subscription section, because when I think of subscriptions in Kartra, I'm thinking of sales checkouts, right? Where people are having ongoing payment subscription to something.
So if you, dashboard, she said.
Oh, on the dashboard. Okay. So if we look at the dashboard, subscriptions, okay, that's what you're talking about. Yeah. So this is just general contact analytics. So what you'll see here is we can see all of our contacts, right? We have 74, I have 74 total contacts in this account, and I got 4 over the last 30 days, right? So it's just giving you an idea of, day to day how your business is performing in terms of people signing up, right? Getting new contacts.
Actually, if you go to contacts too, you can see the same analytics right here as well. That's just the 30-day overview. But if you need different dates and time frames, you can look at that here as well. So,
and Kartra provides you with an analytics section for everything, contacts, products, forms. It's always, you can always see how things are performing afterwards by just finding the analytics for that specific thing. The dashboard is going to be a full overview. So it's not going to give you like the big picture. It's just going to show you recently how things have been, going.
Awesome. Wendy had a question. Can I move my website to Kartra and stop using the Wix site I currently have?
You can move your website to Kartra. One thing to note about that is that when you're moving your website, you can connect your domain. You'll still need to keep your domain. So I assume you have like a www.yourwebsite.com. Now you do need a domain. You can rebuild your website. That's easy, but the domain piece is something that you have to really think about, right? So yes, move your website over to Wix, but who owns your domain? Is your domain owned through Wix? You might need to keep that if you want, or you can set up a new domain with Kartra. It's really up to you because Kartra does have the ability to buy your own domain if you want to do that. So I would say just think about your domain. You can get rid of the Wix. One hard thing about migrating your website to any platform is that there's really no easy way to rebuild those pages. You're just going to have to rebuild your entire website in Kartra from scratch, right? Build your home page, build your about page, all of those different pages that are involved with your website. And then I would say move your domain over. The reason being is that it takes about 48 hours typically for a domain to reprocess and get connected to a new application. So when you disconnect your domain from Wix and connect it to Kartra, there's going to be some downtime. So to reduce that downtime, I always tell people rebuild your website in Kartra first, then move your domain over when you're ready to launch. That way, you're not your website's not down longer than it needs to be.
Great. Rihanna had a question related to actually the email sending, and it said that when she chooses to send it to all, why is it saying red risk? Why would that happen? And I think it's going to be related to, maybe it's too many, so you might need to segment. But I'll go ahead and let Alex share, kind of a little bit about that.
Yeah, I mean, there could be a couple reasons why, right? One thing you can think about in your contacts is that there are people that could be blocklisted. So you can see all of these people have a green little dot on them, means they're good to go. They can receive communications, but anyone with that little explanation point, there could be a reason why those people aren't receiving emails from you. The other thing too is that when you are sending out an email, so let's go back to the newsletter that we had scheduled here. And sorry. So when we go to that from to category, you can see we've defined who we're sending this email to, and it's giving us a risk, right? It'll always tell you next to that risk why. In our case, this group is starting to cool. Try adding curiosity or urgency to your subject line, right? Still interested, right? So we have a medium risk. If you have a high risk, maybe it's because you haven't really warmed your domain up or sent emails out to those people yet to kind of get them, familiar with your domain. I'm personally not the best with email deliverability, but we have a dedicated email team as well. So if you have specific questions about your case, you can always reach out and say, hey, I'm trying to send this email out, but I'm not sure why it's, why the risk is too high or why it says it's not going to be delivered to a lot of people. And you can have an expert kind of look at them and tell you why that would be the case.
Do you want to go to one of the FAQs, Alex?
Yeah, we can do that here. I'm not going to go back to the slide just because a lot of back and forth, but another one is what's the difference between calendars and webinars is what we get a lot. So if you're someone that is running live events, you'll see that there are two different categories to choose from. You have calendars and you have webinars. Webinars is what we are using right now. You're all in a Kartra webinar, and pretty much with a webinar style, only the presenters and what they're presenting are going to be on screen. All of the attendees are just going to be in the chat feed. So it's really great if you're presenting something like teaching a class, right, where you don't need to, see your audience specifically. If you have a large audience, things like that, right? If you're just doing more of a one-to-one or a live event where you actually want to see people on screen, like a class or maybe a workshop, right? Calendars are going to be the best tool to use because there's 4 different types based on the kind of event that you're hosting. And it integrates with Zoom and Google Meet. So you're not actually going live through Kartra like you would with a webinar. You do need to connect Zoom or Google Meet, but Kartra is going to handle all of the link sending, all of the passwords. All you have to do is set up your calendar, get people to sign up, and you're good to go.
Great. Awesome. Next question we have was from Ray. He actually had 2. We're going to go with the scheduler one since we're right here. We haven't used this yet, but can we add a form to the scheduler so they fill out a form before they book a time, and then they will receive reminder emails as well. So
yeah, there's a couple ways that you could do that, right? If you're scheduling anything, it would be through a calendar, right? And you could set up a form that they fill out first before they get to your calendar. But let me show you in the registration section, you have the ability to choose what information people are providing you with when they're signing up for your event. So you can see here, right now, I'm just have the default first name, last name, email. But if you're someone that wants to request specific information, you can create another field or create a custom field to get the specific information that you want during that sign up. So you can have it all, in one sign up. They don't have to fill out a form first, then fill out your calendar second. But that is the other way you could do it, is where you have your form first that people are filling out, maybe on a landing page. They, like in the example we showed, they click a button, fill out a form, and then instead of sending them to like a traditional success page, your success page for that form could be a calendar booking page, a page that has your calendar on it. So they go right to that page after they fill out that form, and then they can go start filling it out from there. If you kind of want to vet them a little bit and like send it, you can always send an email to those people based on their form responses. So maybe you get the forms in and then you review the responses and then manually send your calendar out to the right people through email. Or you can send a welcome message to anyone that completes your form that has your calendar in it as well. So just depends how you want the flow to be from the customer's perspective, right? Think about it from the customer's point of view or the lead's point of view. Do you want them to go to a page first, fill out a form, and then also fill out your calendar? Or do you just want them to just go to your calendar, choose the time, and then provide all of the information at once? That way it's, a little easier for them. So you get to make that decision when you're building it out.
Awesome. And Ray's other question was with forms too. So is there a way to see the details that a client filled out for a specific form? We see the details on the contact info, but all the fields are there.
Yeah. So when you really, with forms, you're not going to see like a full summary of like this person filled out this form and provides you with this information. You'll get that with surveys, but with forms, yeah, the information is just going to be in the contact profile, but I'll show you how you can get it. So if you go to a contact profile, just to kind of give you an overview, form data is going to be always on the left-hand side. Sorry, it's taking a minute to load here, but you can see like first name, email, right? And then any other custom fields that I would have collected would be down here, right? All of this information on this left-hand side in the profile tab is information you've collected from a form. Now, if you want to see what somebody has answered, the best way to do that is through email notifications. So actually, does it show? I'm not too sure. Right, we'll take a look together. But in email notifications, these are basically like system emails that are sent out. They're not really like emails that you have to worry about creating and sending. They're already set up for you. You can change them a little bit if you want. But let's see, Let's go to find the form ones. So I'll search here. Membership welcome. We don't worry about that one. Let's see what else we got. Welcome form. Okay. Thank you for letting receivers. Yeah, so it's not really providing you with that information. But these are the ones to your leads. I actually didn't go to the ones to your team. So these are the ones that you would receive when people are completing specific things. And let's see if we can find the form one, lead fills and opt-in form. So this is the email that you would receive. And then, yeah, you can see the lead name and lead email. I'm not sure if you're getting any custom fields. It'll provide you with that data, but this will show you like, hey, somebody filled out your form. It was this person. And then you can look at that person in your profile and see what their responses were. So that's one way that you can do it. One more thing I will also leave you with is automation. So you can say, if somebody fills out my form and their response to a specific field was this, then put them into a specific group or do something with them based on that response. So that's one way that you can automate this segmentation if that's what you're looking to do based on people completing your forms.
Yeah, and also, like you mentioned, look, the surveys feature could also work for what you're looking to do. So if he clicks on the surveys, there are analytics per person per survey they fill up. Mm-hmm. So you could also think about doing a traditional survey, and that does have like the ability for them to add their name. It has the ability to select what the redirect pages, like you saw for the forms, like what's the success page they're going to. And you can even send people to different success pages based on like what some of their answers are too. Mm-hmm. Same with scored quiz. You can send, and personality quiz. You can even send them to, okay, they got 100. I want them to go to this page. They got 50%. I want them to go to this page. So there's a lot you can do. It really just depends on how robust you need to get with Kartra or how simple you want to keep it. And we lean towards simple as you get started. But I mean, the more robust you want to get, ask that Kai guy, the little AI chat, and, it's there to help, understand exactly what you need to do too. Or our team will as well. So.
Yeah. Good. Awesome. Yep. I like to describe it this way, like forms really good for collecting information, running signups. If you want to do something with that information, like, review it, have actions on it, surveys, definitely the way to go.
Rihanna asks, can you show how to do a funnel setup step-by-step in Campaign? Can you show how to do a funnel using Campaign?
Yeah, I can show you. Let's just go through this example here. So like in campaigns, if we were to go to, if you're looking for campaigns, always go to Marketplace first. In Marketplace, you'll see ones that other Kartra users have created, but they'll probably cost money. All the free ones are in this Available Campaigns tab at the top. And you can go through here to find one that you want. Let's just look through and, say I want to go with a simple one. So let's do a monthly subscription PDF download. So I want to do that. You'll see it's going to generate all of the campaign assets. So basically everything that's included with this funnel is going to be added to my account. So it'll take a couple minutes to create all of those things. So while it's doing that, we can just give it a minute here.
Actually, while it's doing that too, Becky mentioned that if we look at the email, you might be able to have custom fields as variables too. So
yeah,
check that
out. And weird that the campaign had an error. I'm not sure why it went through. Anyway, I'm just going to deploy this fast track lead magnet one. I'm not sure why the previous one had an error there. Let's see what's going on.
We need that music, Jeopardy. Mm-hmm.
All right, so this one worked, right? Okay, so the first thing that's going to happen is it's going to open the campaigns, section where you're going to see everything that is included with that campaign. So we can see here there are pages. There's the free offer download page, the free offer sign up page. If I go to forms, you can see that there is a free offer sign up clone there. Lists, there are 2 lists that are included with this campaign, and then there is a tag. So what this is showing you is all of these things have been added to my account. If I go to the pages section of my account, I'll see these 2 pages here. If I go to the form section of my account, I'll see this form here, right? But what this is kind of think of it like a folder, right? Everything that's included with this campaign, all of the pages, forms, you can find them in here in the campaign. So you don't have to go to those different sections of the account, just another way to kind of see everything in one place. And then from here, you can build out, everything's already connected. All I have to do is edit these specific pages. So if I go to this page and hit edit, right, it's going to open the page builder, and then I can adjust this to, be the page that I want, right? Add my branding, add my text, all of that, change the design how I feel. And again, this is the design that I used for the example here today. So you can see like, here it is. And then here's my version. Oh, right. So I just changed around the formatting, right? Got rid of the box because I'm not a fan of the box, but kept the buttons. And then down here, I kind of like reformatted how this is displayed. I put the boxes on the right side and the thing on the left, right? So even when you have a template, you can move things around to kind of get your own branding, your own style out of it. But yeah, that's how you are building campaigns. It's pretty simple. You're just importing the campaign into your account. I think the hardest part with campaigns really is understanding the full picture. So like there are campaigns that you'll see that you'll add to your account that have like 30 assets. It might take you a little bit just to go through them and see, okay, this is how everything is connected. But if you're doing with something simple like the fast track that we're showing, it should be very easy for you to understand, okay, sign up page, form, success page, right? We recommend those ones if you're beginners because they're very simple, easy to understand. Then you can get into the more complex ones as your business grows.
Right. Crystal asks, does Kartra have a shopping cart or option on how to buy multiple memberships at one time? So stacking maybe automations or price points with multiple that unlock would be a good option.
Yeah, there is no cart option, right? So there's no way to say like, someone purchases add it to their cart and they could add like a bunch of different things from your page to a cart and then pay all at once. How Kartra works is every sale is going to happen, individually, but there are ways that you can have sell multiple things at once. One of the first ways is through upsells or downsells. So if you want it to be, specific, like separate purchases, that's one way that you can show people like, okay, they purchased one thing, then they're immediately upsold to your second course or downsold to a cheaper course, whatever you want to do during that. And we had a previous event on upsells and downsells that I can provide you with here after this, just a link to that. The second way is you can bundle your products. Now, this is going to be, something more that you have to think about, right? But say I have my ebook product, I have my finance course product, right? And maybe I want to bundle those together. I can create a third product that is ebook plus finance course, and it has both of those things together. And if somebody purchases that one, I know that they're going to get access to both. So basically you're just creating another product with a combined price point that people can choose from. And on your sales page, right, you have the individual ones as well as the bundled option that they can choose from. Mm-hmm. And then with that, if you're giving access to multiple memberships, you'll see that when you're setting up a product, you can really only link it to one membership at a time, right? So in here, we can see I've linked my Kartra membership, and for each price point, you're only able to link one membership there. But if you're giving access to multiple memberships, use the automations. So you can give access to the first one in here, and then any additional ones, you can say, if someone buys this product at any price point, then grant access to course. So I'll show you that here. We'll create a new automation and we'll say, if someone buys this product, and we can select the product, and it'll always be the product that you're setting up here. We'll say any price point. Then I'm also going to give them access. So grant access to membership, and then I can choose, another membership that I have here. So let's go with this one, right? So now in my product, you can see that they're getting access to my finance course membership as the main thing, but they're also getting access to my fitness trainer membership as well. So automations are going to be your best friend there when you're setting that up.
Yeah, great. Perfect. Also, one cool thing about that is if it is multiple memberships, that person will have one login for that for all of those memberships within your system, basically. So it's not going to have, oh, you got to log in with this one and this one and this one. It's going to be the same login details for all of them if they've purchased one from you in the past too.
Yeah.
Or at the same time. So,
and a little bonus for you too is that each membership you create, right, will have its own login page. So like my finance course has its own login page. My, launch has its own login page. If you're someone that has multiple courses and you want to sell them all to everyone can buy access to any of them, consider setting up a portal. Portals really upsell themselves because it's going to be one login page for all of your courses, and people can see which ones they have access to, which ones are locked. And if it's locked, they can just right from the login page purchase access to all of your additional courses. So it's a great way to upsell itself. If you are running multiple courses, I would set up a portal. That way, just another avenue for people to get that access without having to go into a sales page or bundle or anything like that.
Awesome. And I did want to hop back to two things. Back to email notifications. I wanted to check out to the team and see if there's any way to add custom fields to that email when you go to edit it.
Yeah, let's take a look. So email notifications here. So again, these email notifications are just emails sent out by Kartra based on different things. So there's ones that are going to go out to your contacts, and there's ones that go to you or your team. And in this case, we're going to look at the one that is the lead fills and opt-in form. So if we go ahead and edit this message here. One thing to always keep in mind when you're editing these messages is that they go out for every single thing. So like it's not unique to a specific opt-in form. It's going to go out for every opt-in form that I have. So always kind of keep them a little generic, right? Just use the dynamic variables to put that unique information. But Shannon, yeah, what were you saying? So let's say like
the variables section up at the top, what does it give us? So it
just give us last name, email, first name. We have the ability to create an additional variable here. Okay. So, and all of our custom field ones are here as well, right? Yeah. So great. If you are someone that's running a form, you can have all of these, say I want to see what this person's interest is, it'll create that variable, and then I can use that. So what are they interested in my business? And then I would just add that dynamic. I just like copying and pasting them just because it's exact. There's no room for error there.
Cool. Right. And maybe you have a team that's helping manage like the lead gen side of your business, right? You can set a specific team member now to get these emails only, and they're the one that is maybe qualifying them that way, or whatever, whatever that process looks like. But Ray, what I would say, because I think this goes back to your initial question on like, can you see what answers people had to specific, forms, or, what process you should set up. I think it would be helpful if you actually emailed our team onboarding@kartra.com. And I think it'd be helpful to have a little side conversation on exactly what you're trying to do. Maybe we can get a few more details from you that way, Ray. And it'll help us figure out maybe what is the best, scenario for you too. So yeah, if you again want to reach out, I'll add the email to the chat, onboarding@kartra.com. I already added it. Perfect. Great. We also had another question from Rihanna. Where is the email on that one? So when you were showing the campaigns today, we demonstrated the newsletter, opt-in that we created. So within that campaign, it actually doesn't have the email that we set up as the email going out as part of that campaign. We imported that campaign and then we set up the email separately. There
is actually the welcome email here. This is the email that you get with the campaign if you are importing the campaign. So where you would find it is if you are doing that lead magnet one, it's in the form. So you go to forms. Here's the form that we just added, right? When I did the example, I renamed it to newsletter sign up form. But it should show like the fast track. Go to settings, and then it should be in this welcome email. So again, welcome email is just one email that is sent immediately after somebody completes your form. If you want to send more emails after that, I would consider setting up a sequence, something like that, where you're sending a series of emails. And then the newsletter that we sent out, that was sent out as a manual email in the email section.
I was wondering if that's what she was getting at, because
Yeah.
that manual email we created is not actually part of the campaign. It's something that now that we know these people are coming in on our newsletter, we know June 1st, we're going to send out, our June monthly newsletter. And so anyone new who's been added to that newsletter list will now be added to get that email when you are ready to send it on June 1st.
Yep. And you really don't need a template because there's tons of templates to choose from. Just go in here to emails when you're ready to send it, click plus email, and you can choose from one of these templates. I think when I did it, I just did chose one of these to start, and then you'll see there's additional section templates that you can use to build out the email from there to get it really the design that you want. So.
And I think based on Rihanna's question too, like if someone fills out a form and joins, like maybe you want them to be on a promo list now, that might be more so that you do have that email sequence. So those automated series of emails that are triggered, that are upselling your products or whatever it is you want to do at that point. So it really depends on what you want to do with people after they fill out the form. If it's just that they're signing up for a monthly newsletter, then they're going to get that monthly newsletter. If it's that you gave them like a freebie or something like that, that is like a little like taste of what your product is, then you might want to actually create an email sequence that says, hey, buy this, you forgot to buy this, or, are you still interested in, this offer that I have? And within those emails, you can actually even add urgency. So you can add a coupon code. You can say, get it now, last chance for 50% off. So, it really does depend what you're trying to do after you, grab that lead, grab that contact on that form. There really are a ton of different adventures, as I like to say, that you can send people on with Kartra. So nailing down what that experience looks like is going to be your goal first. And then creating it in Kartra is the second.
Yeah, I like to think about it this way, right? What is my goal? Is it to send out a newsletter? Okay, I want to send out a newsletter. What do I need to build to make that goal possible? And when I'm thinking about that, I always think from the customer's perspective, right? If I were just someone going through the internet, I would typically want to land on a page. From that page, click a button to sign up, right? And then, maybe I'm getting emails after that. So then you need to think, okay, this is the journey that I'm creating. What tools in Kartra do I need to use to make that journey possible? And then maybe it's pages, maybe it's the sequences like we were just talking about. And then you're building out those individual things to create that.
Yeah. And with that, I think we are reaching the end of our event. We did have one more question. Rand asked, how do you hire help from the Kartra certified partner? So if you want to show her where that is, I think it's in the resource center down on the bottom left.
Yeah.
And
so on the bottom right, you'll see like all of our, general resources. If you need to hire help, there is our resource center in the bottom left-hand corner where you can access our knowledge base, which just has, more training guides. There's also videos in there. If you're more of a video learner, I would say check out the knowledge base, learning events to sign up for that. The certified partners is where all of our partners are. They're not Kartra employees, but these are people that have a good relationship with our company, right? They're affiliates with us and we, vet them, right? So it's better than going to somewhere like Fiverr. These are people that, we trust essentially. So obviously everyone has different services that they sell. Some people will build websites for you. Some people will do, marketing for you. So kind of looking through, seeing what people offer, what their prices are, because of course these are real people with their own, price points. But if you are looking for someone that is an expert with Kartra and that, you can consult with to kind of help you build out your account, this is the place that we recommend going.
Exactly. And also right below the certified partners is the Facebook community. That's another really good resource to, connect with people, ask questions, meet other business owners who are like yourself using Kartra, trying to figure out, what is going to work best for you. So with that, we are close to the top of the hour. And we really appreciate you guys being here. I'm going to let Alex sign us off. But
yeah,
I'll meet you guys.
Thank you, everyone. Yeah, it was a pleasure. Really, the goal with these events is for new people, just to give you guys a little more confidence going into the application. We know Kartra is a beast. There are tons of tools that are available to you. So the first time getting into it could be like, what do I do? Well, just take things step by step, right? Think about your goal, think about what tools you need to accomplish that goal. And you don't have to worry about going to another application to set those things up. Everything is in Kartra for you. Everything's going to, interact and work for you well. All you have to do is, start building, right?
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
if you guys have any more questions, you can always reach back out to the recording email that we'll send you in a little bit. That'll come to our team and we can answer them for you. And if you are not a Kartra user, feel free to scan the QR code to get our free trial. But other than that, thank you guys so much for joining. Stay tuned for our future events. There'll be more coming. You'll see it in that, above the certified partners, there was the learning events. That's where you can, find them. We'll also email them to you anytime a new event is coming up, so you can keep an eye on your inbox. But yeah, have a great rest of your day, guys, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye.
Bye, guys.